Good evening and welcome to yet another edition of SCTV3. I'm Bri Hill.
And I'm Alex Thomas. Here are tonight's top stories. Some encouraging news from the medical world today. A baby that was born with HIV was seemingly cured after high doses of 3 antiretroviral drugs were given to the child 4 hours after birth. 11 days later, according to CNN, the virus was undetectable in her body and remained undetectable 9 months later. The drugs were AZT3TC and nevirapine. And this case was presented at the annual conference of retroviruses and opportunistic infections in Boston this week. A similar case was reported in Mississippi in 2011, in which a baby infected with the disease was given the same drug treatment and has been HIV-free for 2.5 years. Well, lawmakers in Crimea voted today to second Ukraine and join the Russian Federation. That's secede. That decision will be put to a regional vote in 10 days, according to CNN. Citizens will either support or deny the motion. This is a crucial point in Ukraine's history. The days leading up to this point have been very tense, as last Friday, Russian forces moved into the region of Crimea to secure their military assets, which include a military base and the naval base. No shots have been fired and no blood has been spilled, but it remains intense. Western leaders, headed by the United States and the European Union, are considering imposing sanctions on Russia to persuade them to de-escalate the situation.
Bringing things back to campus, last weekend several female students contributed to a show put on by SAVE, or Students Against Violence Everywhere, a group not only on Springfield College campus, but on campuses all over the country. The Vagina Monologue struck several emotions and portrayed many messages. Here's a recap of the show and an inside look from some of the ladies who belong to SAVE.
Vagina Monologues is a fundraiser brought to you by the campus club called SAVE.
It's a bunch of women, any woman on the campus can join.
And they really just give any girl on campus the opportunity to take part in the production that really voices how women rise and what women rise, and just give them a voice to share about opinions, emotion, and what it's like to be a girl all over the world, not just here. We're the only school that puts it on, which is really cool. We're like one piece to the puzzle, which is awesome.
This woman named Eve Ensler interviewed over 200 women, and she wanted to hear about their vagina stories. She gathered all of their information and she put it into a show that students around the world put on. Her main message is to end violence against women, and she wants us to do it as a unified group and really put an end to rape and any difficulty that women have with sexual orientation. She just wants to be the voice for them.
We started way back in October.
Back in October, we were all asked to audition for the monologues, and then we are all assigned a monologue.
We auditioned and were given our parts, and then since then we've met twice every week.
And for the last 4 to 6 months, we've all been rehearsing our monologues, and we meet twice a week on Sundays and Tuesdays from 7 to 9.
Until this past week, where we've been here every single day working really, really hard.
And we just kind of bond, we get to know each other as a group so that we can work well together on the stage, and we really rehearse and really work to understand the message that we're trying to portray. We want to make sure that we understand our story before we go out there and try to proclaim it to the world.
To put on this awesome production for everyone on campus to enjoy and take something from.
This past Tuesday night, Springfield College communication sports journalism professor Dennis Gilday held a reading for his new book, Hoop Crazy, at the Campus Union. Gilday has spent the last few years writing the book and recently had it published. I was able to attend the event and even catch up with the man himself. Check it out. This past Tuesday night in the Campus Union, COSJ professor Dennis Gilday read 2 sections from his new book, Hoop Crazy, which talks about a former college coach and author, Claire B. Before the event, I was able to catch up with Gilday, who explained what his book is all about and gave his feelings about the event, as well as some awesome background information.
This is a book about Claire B., who was an outstanding basketball coach. He's enshrined in the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame. He still has the highest winning percentage of any coach in college basketball history. My interest in him, though, was that he was also kind of an intellectual and an author. Wrote the Chip Hilton sports series for boys, and his team was involved, his Long Island University team was involved in the 1951 college basketball point shaving scandal. which essentially ended his career. And after that, he devoted all his time to writing the Chip Hilton books. And so what I'm going to do tonight is just read a little bit from the introduction. I went to a sport history conference at the University of Texas at Austin. At breakfast, this young woman said to me, "Well, what are you going to be presenting on today?" I said, "I'm going to be presenting a paper on Claire B." She kind of looked thoughtful, pursed her lips, and says, "I don't know much about her." I said, "You're right, you don't know much about her, because it's a he." So I think that most of the people who do know about Claire B and know about the Chip Hilton books are older, they're male. As a matter of fact, just last week on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel on HBO, Larry Brown, who's coached everywhere and is now coaching at SMU and has his team in the top 25, mentioned to Brian Gumbel that he got interested in coaching in the first place by reading the Chip Hilton books and being inspired to get into the field. So I'm kind of psyched about it. I like Claire B. I like Chip Hilton. Read the books as a kid, and for the most part enjoyed writing the book.
Gilday's new book is now on the shelves, and if his reading was any indication, it promises to be a great read for both sports fans and fans of reading in general. For SCTV3, I'm Alex Thomas. The Springfield College Humanities Department hosted a so-called RVSP workshop Wednesday night. The workshop looked into ending discrimination and sexual violence on campus. Candace Tibbetts was there and has more on the story for us.
Wednesday night, students and staff came out to attend the RSVP workshop. The workshop that was held in the Union touched on sensitive topics such as violence in relationship and discrimination on college campuses. The event, which was hosted by the Humanities Department, was led by two facilitators from the Young Women's Christian Association.
So the event going on tonight is about creating awareness and helping people understand how sexual assault on campuses has become a really huge problem, and it's not a problem that campuses alone have, but it's something where us as a society need to come together and become empowered by the information on how to stay safe. And so tonight it's really about empowering, educating, teaching people how to stay safe, how to prevent crimes, sex crimes from happening on campus and outside of campus, how to stay safe, and not being a bystander, what you can do to make a change and make a difference. Just to let them know that they're not alone and that there is help out there. The YWCA provides an array of services to assist students, or not students rather, survivors of sexual assault, and not only them, but also just to create awareness and teaching, educating people so that it doesn't happen, to keep it from happening to them.
Their main purpose is to eliminate discrimination, preventing violence, and promoting peace through RSVP, respect, safety, violence, prevention. For SCTV3, I'm Candace Tibbetts.
Thank you for that, Candace. Next up, we'll hear what to expect in the weather for the upcoming weekend from Katie Benoit. Katie?